Well, everyone, can I have a couple of moments? Morning, Pablo. Maybe. Give it a couple more minutes and we can start. Okay, morning, guys. Hang on. Put on the video here before I forget. Okay, morning, guys. Yeah, well, we said yesterday in the 4 o'clock session, it's a bit of an interesting times we live in. CAD unfortunately got stopped out. This happens. That's why we have a stop loss. Yeah, it's come off a bit further. I still see upside coming, but I'm a bit wary about joining now. I don't know why, but I still see upside. Could come back a little bit more. Who knows? But overall, I still think upside is going to be the name of the game, even if it comes back to these sort of levels here. Where's that now? 107.40, something like that. But I see upside anyway. Whether to advise going for it now, I do not know. But I think a good chance of 108 holding. It's been disappointing, but as I say, you've got to accept the bad with the good. Luckily, we've had more goods than bad. The other one, not so good, to say the least, is this one. I think we're still in this one. I'm not sure where your stops are, but I think a lot of guys are still in it. I thought 96 would hold. In fact, I thought 96.20 would hold. It didn't. It held on. That's broken through. As a matter of fact, it could come down a bit further, but I think we're still in it. According to here, we've got to stop around about 5. No, we've got a 95.90 stop. So if you've got a wider stop, you'll still be in. In the trading room, we are out of that one. I've mine a little bit lower, but the trading room was at 95.90. Just check. Yeah, but I've got mine at 95.5. Not suggest you widen it to that. If you're still in, you don't want to take it. Yeah, bottom line is, if you had the 95.90, unfortunately, you've been kicked out. It's not a good way to start Friday morning. It didn't work out well. Pity, because I still think there's the upside is there, but I'm not facing that, you're knocked out. Okay, if you do, well, we can put the RR up, but to enter again, but maybe just be a little bit circumspect for chasing it. But I do see upside on the CAD JPY, and I do see ultimately upside in AUD JPY. Okay, I think it's just a bit of a larger pullback than expected. Happens. US dollar Japanese yen, you should have been stopped out in the profit, Mike. But yeah, a lot of guys out and that on a recommendation. Just to say, there's got to be a reason for a stop loss, because we're going to get wrong ones. It's a fact. You're going to fall off a horse, find it. And the difficult thing is not to take it personally. Just got to say it's going to happen and enjoy the winners. Very choppy. Talking earlier on to Etienne about it. Yeah, I see the downside, but I'm holding fine before going in on it. I still want to get a better price. It still seems choppy around the parity area, 1.0. It's a bit sideways. The dollar index is still strong, but I think a lot of indecision. I know on the euro today at CPI figures are coming out the euro at 11 o'clock. Just bear that in mind. So CPI could have an effect on it, well, should have effect the euro depending. So if you're in it, well, you're short, you've got your stops, hold on to the always. If you're not in it, I would not be joining it. Okay. Well, there you are, Mike. So you got the stopped out and the stopped out on the profit and stopped out on the losses. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We've pat ourselves on the back to get it right, but we've got to put our hands up, and we've got that wrong, and we got those two wrong. The others seem to be doing fine. I think we've got a sea of ticks according to my paperwork up here. GBP USD did very well in the end. Flirted a little bit with the stop at one stage, but then it seemed to come out and did very well in the end. AUD CAD did okay in the end. Yeah, CAD JPY, AUD JPY, unfortunately not. So the rest are okay. All right, so there it is. Just have to accept that's part of trading, as long as you got more winners and losers. State the odds, bear that in mind. Okay, I'm looking at gold. It still seemed to be sinking. I wanted to join it at the right price, didn't want to chase it, and now I'm not on board. It still seems to be coming off. I'm still scared to chase it. I'm still personally think leave it alone. That's sort of a weekly. Whoa. Yeah, it's still really breaking down. I'm still scared to chase it. Anyone want to chase this one? They can. They can mention it here or put a risk up. Personally, I'm scared of chasing. I still think it's going to have some sort of profit-taking bounce, and then we can sell it. So hang fire on that one. Okay, unless you want to do it, then tell me. Okay, I want to get in again on the stop that on the profit round about the 143 level. Flirted 143.20 at one stage, but we didn't get it. A little bit lower, I think. Yeah, hang on, nearly got there this morning. Oh, that's right. When I was fast asleep in the middle of the night or something. I wanted to take it. I didn't have a pending order in. I still want to buy it, but I don't want to buy it right now. I want to buy it at a better price. I'm a little bit nervous the way the market's moving at the moment. Okay, the Nasdaq did come off. I thought it might get a bit of a bounce, but it went straight through the 12,000. So I'm happy with my decision about shorting it, but the better price, I didn't get the better price, so I didn't take it. I am personally leaving the Nasdaq alone. It's jumping around volatility. It seems to cause more negatives than positives. So I'm personally leaving it alone. That's just me. If you guys like it, short the rallies, but see if we can get about 12,000. Again, I wouldn't be chasing it now. It's I think it's more just throw out. The dollar's strong, but they're nervous about the economy. A lot of the strength of the dollar's come in simply because of those interest rate hikes. Getting very dangerous ground is religion and politics, but so I'm trying to speak rationally here. The president at the moment, I think we're just not just the news media putting it out. I think we can safely say he's not as cognitive as he should be. And as a result, there's more gas coming in all the time. And even though they're trying to protect him, it's getting a little bit embarrassing. Overall, the big money is not happy with the way the economy is being run, and they see a more negativity before we get some serious, shall we say, value being brought in. So sell the rally is still the name of the game. Okay, I wouldn't be shorting it now on the Nasdaq, and generally speaking. Okay, it's great to know the direction, but it's now trying to find the entry point. Sometimes you find it, and sometimes you miss it, but that's the way it is. Thought the two we thought about there had been okay. They weren't, but hopefully had the right position size. Is disappointing, but it's part of trading. Okay, right. Now the thing's to try and look for new stuff. And I'm not sure I've got anything, to be honest. We just had the strategy meeting before that we do daily, and I can't say I've came up with anything at the moment where I could safely say, hey, I'm pretty damn keen on it. I'd like to buy the yen, the dollar yen, that is, and I still like the CAD JPY, but I'm a bit reluctant to chase it. But if you do want to chase it, I'm not against that, but you'll have to basically put your hand up and say, I want to chase it. Okay. AUD/JPY, extremely disappointing, and it's still coming off. So again, surprising. I liked it, but obviously, I don't. I think it's going to go fairly sideways, and I think we'll see some sideways movement going into Wednesday. Interest rates, and we'll see how they react to interest rates. I see it moving 109. The trade will push it up and down. That's just the noise the traders buying and selling. But I think it's going to hold them sideways. I still see dollar strength, but again, we'll have to see what the interest rate hike is going to be, whether it's 75 basis or 1 full percent. Okay, so okay, just bring up the speed. Very disappointing this far, but. I see overall there's going to be some, if nothing else, a profit taking back. But I still think it's going to attract buyers. I still don't see this Japanese strength. I think it's more the other side of the coin. Overbought the other side rather than some strength in Japanese yen. I've heard nothing on the news about any hawkish stance coming out. The interest rates are still too low. They have massive GDP debt ratios, one of the highest in the world, actually. I think we're going to have to force it. We've got a lot of policies there in Japan where jobs for life produce economic miracle back in the 60s. And now as people are living the fish they eat, now it's going to extreme strain the economy to back that up, where they're being supported by a smaller group of people who are producing. It's a bit like having an oversized bureaucracy. They're taking for the tax, they're not producing well to pay the tax in the first place to do it, if you see what I mean. So I still see yen weakness going on, overbought, oversold stuff. So I see upside on this one. If you've been knocked out of it, I still see the upside. This one, the CAD/JPY, there's nothing has changed my tune on it. It's just a bigger pullback than I expected. Simple as that. Okay, I still see upside on it. Like I just mentioned there, Karate, I think it's been a bigger pullback than I expected. Simple as that. But I would not be selling it. But if you got lucky and guessed, or basically lucky, and you did sell it, you'd be smiling. But I think you'd be going the wrong way, and you got lucky. I still see AUD/JPY, CAD/JPY as upside. I'll repeat again, the pullback is a lot larger than I expected, but I still see the upside there. Okay. If you want to come back to those two, fine. I'm looking at Brent at the moment. I want to buy Brent, but I want to buy Brent around about the 90 or better. I thought I might have missed it, pushed up a little bit the last hour or so, but it's starting to come back again. So if we can get it round about this sort of 90 or better, I still see a buy on that with a $4 stop. If we lose, we lose, but I still think that 86 will be defended. I'm not sure we're going to get an oil price at those levels. I still think the producers will up the ante by reducing production if we start seeing those levels. So yeah, Brent, just hang 5 on that. I mentioned it yesterday, but hang 5, be patient. Bit of patience coming in here. Okay, and always remember you did very well. So remember those. You're not having such good days. Be happy you're alive and not living in the Middle Ages. Right, silver we mentioned yesterday. It wasn't me actually. Philip, was it? Somebody mentioned it yesterday. And for a short, if it opened below this area here, well, it did. But I wanted to short it above 19. I'm be honest, I'm a bit nervous shorting it now. I wonder if we're having a trade room about 3-4 this morning, I'd have gone for the short and we'd be doing okay. But most people, I don't think, are too keen to be doing a trade room at 3-4 in the morning. So we don't have one. We have one now. So I think, unfortunately, rather see if we can get a better price to sell it down. But I think silver at the moment to sell is a slightly better bet than trying to chase gold at these levels. Okay. But whatever, I think we can get a bounce on gold, but don't buy it, rather sell the rally. But that's sort of all clear. And don't you agree with me or disagree? Zeph, do you agree with all that, or what do you think? You've had experience of the other experienced guys, not just Zeph. What's your take of it? Was your mother over? Anyone want to look at it? Anyone want to look at something they're in and want to any moral for somebody, if nothing else? I'll try to be honest, which might mean you're not going to get moral support if it's still going bad. But yeah, anyone discuss anything on that? Because unfortunately, at the moment, I don't have a trade. Doesn't happen very often, but at the moment, I don't. I'm human like everybody else. I don't like losing, and I'm disappointed with the CAD and the AUD on JPY. But what can I say? Anyone got anything they'd like to look at? If it's going to be quiet, don't forget, guys, you can always ask, what am I looking at? I do put on quite a lot of the DXY, the yields and economic calendar. I want to have those, they're very important. So I'm looking at GBP CAD now. But if you're not sure what the blue line is, or the brown line, or the purple line, or whatever it is, you can ask. It won't take long. You won't hold up the forum too long. I can explain. You can have it. And if you haven't got the link for the dollar index, the yields on the 10-year note or the economic calendar, I'll post as normal. But I agree with that, Lisa. That's why I'm not going in as yet. If you're in, hold it absolutely for sure. I wouldn't join it now. Okay, maybe I'm not, who knows. GBP CAD. Gold, we'll look at golden again. I'm not sure about the bounce on that, Adele. I'd rather sell the rally, but I think a bounce is definitely due. Well, actually, if you really know what you're doing and you want to go against the trend and you know the costs are too high on gold and you want to sort of say buy it for a $4 or $5 bounce like a scalp, I'm not against that. Joining for a sell at these levels, I'm a bit nervous, to be honest. So if you want to be more prudent, if we get a rally, then we can sell down again. If you want to sort of say it's an oversold bounce, expect a bounce, maybe $4 or $5, starts going a couple of dollars in the right direction, move your stop up immediately to break even and see if you can get a $3 or $4 out of it, something like that. Okay. You're still on the good for you, still downside there. Modify your stop, okay? Make sure that you cannot lose on the trade. Do not forget. Modify your stop. ride the winner. Well done, and don't lose on the trade. Just make sure of that. GBP CAD. I see the sell again. I'm sorry, guys. I looked at it earlier on. If you're in it, hang on to the sell and modify your stop, building your profit. Joining it now, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure I'll be selling GBP USD now either. And GBP CAD looking good. Well, it's looking good if you're in it, absolutely. That's one of our trades. Modify your stop, don't join it now. I'm going to be careful on that because often when I say modify, people think jump in or modify and they go and close it. I've got to be really pedantic on my phraseology on that. You want to sell it now? Well, before we go on to that, does anyone want to sell this now? For the record, I'm not keen at the moment, although 151 seems to have broken, but how much downside expecting? Anyone want to sell this at market? I'm personally not that keen. Yeah, you should have done well on the loony, as they call it, Zeph. Yeah, don't chase it now. Hit your TP, Mike. Well, thank you. That's all right. It's a bit closer, Fiso. It's just me personally. It's my idiosyncrasy, if you like. I like to be 30 pips in profit, and I whip it down to break even. I suppose you could always reduce the stop. Yeah, maybe reduce it. So if it does stop out, it's a reduced loss, if you like, damage limitation. I'm a bit iffy at 26. Maybe get a bit further downside, whip it to entry level. Okay. But anyone want to join us now? No. Okay. What was looked at? Want to look at? Sorry. GBP CAD, GBP USD hit TP. Right. Right. We'll look at it anyway. Wow. Bloody hell, you're right there, mate. Sure. It did indeed. And that was a bit of a, well, it wasn't a thumb suck. It was a Fibonacci extension. It's broken through it. Wow. It did do well. Hey. Let's just say, don't dwell too much on the losers. We had two losers. And people like Mike cheer me up and some of the others acknowledge that, hey, we did well on the other ones. Yeah, very important. Sure, bloody hell, it certainly did, yeah. I looked at it for a couple of hours or so. Wow, excellent. Good. Gold, still falling. Poor. I don't know, guys. What do you think? I need help on this. What do you think? Yeah, I'd looked at it earlier on. CAD CHF was at the moment. Overcooked. I think it's very overcooked. You'd have to do some serious hard sell job to get me to short it now. And I thought maybe a quick bounce at 60, but it's not happening. So I'm not going to touch it, to be honest. I'm just going to whip over to my dollar index. Yeah, it's still strong. It's just below 110. Running a snipe on gold. I like it. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that, John. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, CAD CHF. That seems to be coming off now. Doing well. I mean, we've joked a little bit about that one. I was a bit reluctant either way. But as I say, to be honest, a little, you know, I go about the heavyweights. I put the top of the heavyweights, as I mentioned before, US dollar, then the Swiss franc, the CAD. So if I had the two together, there's not a lot of difference, but I would be rather buy the CHF and the CAD and seem to come off. So that's fine. Again, I'd be very nervous at chasing it now. Those who did go short, I think you were one of them, Seth. Well, I don't have to tell you, you know, the store modify the stop loss. But yeah, good. I don't know. I just went for fun to back up Lorenzo there. I didn't. I certainly went in the right direction, like Jacob. I think if he did that, whipped it up to entry level. I covered my costs and I was out. I just did it for fun. I mean, I wasn't thinking, I just thought I'd support the open. But yeah, went up a little bit. Soon it did. So I didn't lose out of it. Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind them. They're just to be different, but as long as you whip the stop up pretty quick. Okay. All right. Okay, euro dollar. Okay, thank you, Sophie. So yeah, get it down to entry. When I say entry, maybe make it a few pips below entry, or better than entry. Should say below when you're going long or short. Better than entry to cover your costs. So at least you make a rand out of it if you get stopped out, and then run it. Once you get to a little bit further down, then you can start moving your stop loss to the profit, maybe about 20 pips behind. Maybe give it a little bit more downside. The dollar's still strong because you don't get stopped out. You make 20 pips instead of 100. You know what I'm saying? But maybe whip it down once, just use of mind or whatever. Once it's down, maybe another 10, 20 pips or something. Maybe keep it 20, maybe 25. I don't know. It's a bit of a rule of thumb. Just make your building in profit in case something daft happens. We've got nothing big on the US coming out today. It's just the euro. Hang on, actually, euro dollar. So just be careful of 11 o'clock. That's a good point. So it gets near 11. If you're 50, 60 pips in profit, make sure your stop loss is intact in a profit in case you get stopped out in a bounce, or it's worse than expected and then it goes further down. Bear in mind, being a CPI, if it's high, the consumer price index has gone higher than expected, it'll be considered inflationary. So there'll be pressure on the Eurozone, the ECB, to expectation interest rate hikes, which actually means you should get a jump in the euro. So if the CPI is actually bad or worse, expect a bit of a jump in the euro because the expectations of another interest rate hike coming up, or even a bigger one than expected. Bear that in mind. Just make sure for the euro dollar before 11 o'clock, your stop loss is in profit. So you can gain or you make money either side of the coin. But that makes all sense. Okay, good enough. For everybody in future, not just for fees in this particular trade, but generally. That's why it's very important. I need investing.com, produce it free of charge. If you don't have it, I'll post it again and have them saved and minimized. Okay, GBP JPY. GBP is losing against the yen. So the yen is just, I personally think it's just been oversold. I don't think it's going to continue. I think we can be start to look for buys on this. I think we can just wait. It's just zipped slightly in. It's not a complete candle on the daily in the neutral zone. I still think we've got a bit of support there. I think it's a good chance of 163 holding. Maybe want some confirmation on this one, but I don't see there's going to be much more downside. I think the buyers are going to start coming in. So I'm going to reply to WhatsApp with a guy quickly here. Okay, I'm just going to mute you all. Just find the WhatsApp there. A bit of a background noise there. But remember, you can always ask to be unmuted if you want to chit chat. Okay, right. So, I think the pound's not the greatest in the world. I think the yen is being oversold. That's why it's come off a bit, but I'm not sure it's going to continue. In fact, it's quite an aggressive one here. I see a buy from these levels. I think 160 is going to hold. And if we put a stop down here somewhere, maybe down here, how far is that? It's about 100. Maybe down there. I think we get a trade there. I think 160 is going to hold. Yeah, I agree with it. That's my take. That's my take. I think it's overcooked. I'm going to put a fib on it, see what that's going to say. I'm looking at a buy. Anyone looking to sell here? To say, please say so. And we can look at that as well. But I'm looking at a buy here. And I think the 163 is going to hold. Yeah, 4 hour. Yeah, the 4 hours held bang on there. I'm seeing a buy here. But to be honest, more I look at it, more I like it. Yeah, Veli's happy with that. Good. Welcome. Welcome, Veli, by the way. You mean buyers on the yen, you mean, rather than the pound? I'm not sure which way you mean that, because I always look at the base currency. I quite like this one, actually. It's a bit aggressive, but anyone like it? I'm looking to buy, but if you, hey, you're doing all right, John. Look at the gold. Yeah, it's coming off still. Good stuff. Okay. You'd like to look at it. Okay. Thanks for the support. So long. How far away is that? That's about right. That's about right. Plenty of upside. You can take it right back up here if you like. 165.80. Plenty of upside. Even higher, actually. We'll do that to start off with. Plenty of risk reward. You can even make a wider stop if you like. If you want to make a wider stop, you can. But I think it's okay at those levels. You're talking about $100 a micro. I'd say I like it as well. So I'll write it down if you guys like it. You're in, Sophie. So anybody else? Okay, got a couple. It's moving quite a lot. Buy it and then put your SL and TP in afterwards, because it's jumping around a bit. Okay, brilliant. Got that in. Let's see if that can happen. Right, excellent. Who discovered that? Hang on a minute. Looks interesting. There's a bit of sit on the fence there, Jack. I can do it or not. That's the big question. Who thought of this one? Who came up with this idea? I'm trying to go back here. Way back. GBPJPY. Who the hell came up with that one? Ah, Mintimir. Put that down. So you get the accolade if it comes right, and I get the cut if it goes wrong. How's that sound? That's a win-win situation. Okay, Zeph, fair enough. That's no problem with that. Okay, let's see how that goes. Okay, Zeph, we'll see how that works as well. That's fine. Okay, right. Let's have a look. How's the AUD? Anything coming up there? Still a disaster. Looks like it's going to be hitting the stop, eh? CADJPY, can it recover? I think we'll keep those in the background and check them later on, see if we get any recovery there. Okay, right. You've John Gold, John, and it's still coming off. The dollar is still strengthening. Just give me a second. Flip on the other screen. Yeah, ooh, bloody hell, it's taking a 110. The dollar is continuing to strengthen. So the guys in the JPY, happy days. I don't think you're going to be able to enjoy that. No, I want to join it better. I'm probably gonna miss out and worry about chasing it now, but I think we're going to get some more upside on the dollar from that basis. So if you're in the dollar, fine. Retail figures, what happened? That was yesterday, I think. Oh no, pardon. Yeah, the retails was slightly worse than expected. But yeah, but that was 8 o'clock. It's now at 10 o'clock. Most that's been discounted in. Okay. Right. Euro dollar. It's coming off nicely. Okay, Safiso, make sure your stop's in a profit. You may even make it maybe 99.90 or so. I know where you got in, but just make sure you got your stop okay, protecting you if the Eurozone CPI figures come out, then they're not good. Morning, Ashley. Just bear that in mind. Okay. Brent's coming off. Maybe we can start looking at buy on this one. We need a confirmation. We might get 88, 89. Keep an eye on Brent, guys. If it comes off down to 89 or further, something like that, just let me know if I'm looking at something else. I think it's going to be setting up for a buy on this one. Just want to get the right price for a bounce upwards. I just don't see the oil hanging around below 85 bucks personally. When was it last 85 anyway? Around this time here. When was that? That was in January. So where are we now? We're in September, 8 months ago. And our stop will be below that anyway. Yeah. No, it'll be about 85. So maybe they will look at that. Anyway, we'll come back to that just now so you can get the better price. Okay. Thanks, Mintima. I'd say thanks at the moment, see if it works out. Eurocad, no, I haven't. Just be a little bit circumspect of joining the euro with 11 o'clock CPI coming out. Remember, if the CPI is a lot higher than expected, that will be considered inflationary. So the expectation, almost certainly, that you'll have a jump in the euro, which is back to front, because the expectation of more hawkish interest rates. Just bear that in mind. Hope that's all clear. So that's range trading on the daily, on the weekly. At the moment, I would say bring range trading, that would be a short. If there's no 11 o'clock CPI coming out, I would see that as a short. I'm just a bit nervous because of that CPI could suddenly strengthen the euro for the reasons I just gave. Otherwise, I'd see that as a short. That's the only reason I'm a little bit nervous. Okay, well, fine. If you got in the early hours of the morning, say the early bird catches the worm, you should be okay. Just be a little bit careful. Okay. It's interesting. Name it McGeady Wonder. Interesting name. Come to join us. Okay. So far, so good. You seem to know the score. I'll say anyway, make sure you protect before 11 o'clock. Don't see it sudden profits washed away because of jumping around on any fundamental coming out. Okay. All right. Yeah. So there we are. What well, CAD? I forgot about that. CAD, USD CAD. Let's look at that one. Someone I mentioned earlier on, that's dollar strength. Dollar strength is still there. Let's look at it now. Oh, it's still very strong. So take that 110 as one. Oh, hang on, jumping around. 110, yes, about 110. Look at that. Sure, look at that. So very, very well over the week. The daily, it's so far up 50. Could get a bit further up to maybe these levels here. That's about 30 pips away. Not sure I'll be chasing it here though. Okay, so if you're in, I don't know anyone's in this one, brilliant, move your stop up. I'm not sure about chasing it, and I certainly wouldn't be selling $1 and shorting it. But I think it's a little, it might come back a bit with a profit taking, and I think it might consolidate and just see if it goes further up. Okay, and someone I think asked about the Swissy. Yep, I think if the Swissy can be taken out, there's 50 there and hold, we can look for a long, bearing in mind the Swiss franc is extremely strong. Okay, but yeah, we could look at that one as well. Okay, I'm scratching your eye a bit, guys, but I don't know if anybody else has got anything we'd want to look at. As I say, it's one of the few times I didn't come up with a trade idea in this morning's strategy room. And the only one we've got at the moment wasn't even my idea. It's well spotted, in my opinion, well spotted. We'll see how it works out first. Those want to go to $1 short. I was a bit nervous of it. They didn't go that, something like that seems to do quite well. But the pound dollar did very well. Said all the others, just bloody cat JPY. What? AUDs, it's still coming off. What is happening here? Really, really weak. I think we're getting a bit of support down these levels here. I think the buyers should start thinking about coming in. It really is overcooked. Morning, Osborne. Okay. Anything like to discuss? Anyone got any ideas? Yeah, it was the NAS as well is falling just now. Been falling for a while, eh? Yep. I think the NAS is falling as well. That's not taking out 11.8, but yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm short the rally on this one, but I'm not sure I'll be shorting it now. So what I mentioned, Veli, I don't know what your account size is, but be careful if you've got a small account. You need a wide stop. It's extremely volatile. 50, 60 pips is a reasonable stop on the Forex, but it's diddly squat on the NAS. You need about 200 pips, something like that, because of the noise. You've joined it now. Okay. I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm a bit scared to join it. I want a better price if I'm going to miss out on this. I'm not sure I'll be chasing it. So what's doing it? But yeah, upside. If you're on board, I'm nothing wrong with that. I'm just a bit nervous to join it now. Right, the exponential moving average just means there's a faster reaction at the end game, for one of a way of putting it. So you'll see that the reaction on any moving average will be quicker at the last area than the simple one. That's a simple average. The other one, exponential, means, as I say, the reaction to price action is slightly quicker. So I'll put one on. We've got a 10, I'll put a 50 on. There we are. That's the 50 simple. I'm going to put a 50 exponential to show what I mean. Go to trend, go to moving average, and I'll put a 50 in. I'll put that same color and make sure it's exponential, which it is. There it is. See, slightly quicker reaction. So it's quicker to react to the down, and it's quicker to react to the up, as you can see. Just reacts a little bit quicker. I use a simple because I don't use them as crossing or uncrossing, anything like that. Because I find them lagging. I use it particularly for filtering and for support, filtering with strong or weak or whatever, and support resistance. That's why I prefer the simple, but the exponential can, if you like, a lagging indicator when it crosses on a shorter time frame. You might use, I don't know, a 20 exponential and a 20 simple, and it crosses maybe by whatever. I backtest a lot of these indicators. I'm a bit sort of iffy on it. But there you are. That's the differential. Okay, Warren, stocks, good, very difficult to call at the moment because I still think a bit more downside. I'm not value buying at the moment on stocks. But if you really look to one I was mentioned yesterday, maybe Walmart, because it's what we call defensive stock, people will eat whatever, whether they lose their job or not, or they won't survive. You know, you need food, you need water. Simple as that. Whatever happens, electricity is a pain in the backside, but water is life or death. Food, and it's the biggest in the world as a supermarket chain. So that'd be the only one I'd look at maybe buying for a longer term period. Otherwise, leave alone. S&P, I don't know, join it now. I think a bit of a cooked. I do see the short, but the short was higher up. I'm just going to take this off, get in the way of it. It's confusing the issue. Okay, so yeah, it's a bit of support down there. It might get a bounce. Short the rally, simple as that, but I won't be joining it now. I don't see any sells at the moment overcooked. I want to sell the rally in all of them. Okay, Euro JPY. Well, quite frankly, I'll be looking to buy this one. It's the bottom of the range, and quite frankly, I'd buy it right now, except for 11 o'clock CPI. Do I think it's going to be higher? I think it is. I don't want to make you too cocky here and jump on what I'm saying here. I'm just giving my opinion. I think we're going to jump in the euro. That's just me sticking my neck out, and that's all I'm doing. I'm sticking my neck out. It's not a piece of advice. Doing it, you still got to make your own mind. But I think it's going to be a slightly higher CPI. It's going to be considered inflationary, and there's going to be expectations of interest rate hawkish hikes. So I think we'll probably get a bit of a jump. We might get a bit of whipsaw, but I think we get probably a bit of a jump. So this is the bottom of the range. I would see upside on this one, but being prudent, maybe wait for 11 o'clock. If you're not being prudent and you want to take a bit of a punt or you want to be very aggressive or like to look at it, I'm looking to buy on that. Joe, my thoughts on Engas. Where's Mark Shearer when I need him? Come back to that if you want to. Short the rally again. We had a short going on and on and on and on in the nines somewhere with over 10 TP. That's been going for over a month now. Talking about that month there, Warren, we've been in Engas for about a month. Just shows we've been a long time. Been a bit slow jumping around. We're in profit. It's down the sevens. So those are still holding that short are a dollar in profit. Got about 9.27 about a month ago. So nicely in profit. Would I join it now? Absolutely not. I wouldn't touch it. If you're still in it, well, I'm not, by the way. If you're still in it, well, get your stop down to break even or something, right? I'll take your profit away if you want to do with it. Where are we now? We're in September, October. They're going there winter. There might be wanting some more gas. You might get a bit of a bounce up. Either way, leave it alone. GBP JPY. It's hovering, but it's about, but it jumped up a bit. It's about break even at the moment on our entry. But Zeph, he's quite a knowledgeable guy. He's seen more downside. Could well be right. But I still feel that the yen is a bit overbought. I think it might weaken a bit. We'll see. It's jumping around. The dollars, yeah, probably sure. The lights are coming back on. I've got the load shedding's off. Okay, bloody hell, you're right there, mate. Sure, 18. You're in economic prisoners over here. Economic prisoners. You can't go anywhere at 18 to the bloody dollar. Do you know in smart hotels, just they tip the bloody concierge or the bellboy, whatever you call them there, just to take the luggage up to the room. The normal tip is between $5 to $10, just to hand it, just to carry the baggage up by the lift, which you do yourself, you know. That would be 100 over 100 rand. Yeah, it'd be $100. Well, nearly anyway. Okay, you want to look at that. That's aggressive. Asia's the right word on that one. Euro JPY. You want to look at that one? Where can put the stops? Put this out of the way a second. It's too far. Put it down here. Yeah, maybe there. And the TP, you can take it up to there, 144.38. Make it 40. Round figure, see if that works. Nope, so I've put a little bit higher. That's the reason why it didn't look good. That's better. Yeah, there we are. Just put a little bit below the body there, just in case of the spread, like I mentioned yesterday. We don't want to hit it on the buy and you're not out because you're on the sell and the spread. So yeah, if that's for aggressive, remember I mentioned about 11 o'clock, but yeah, if you want to preempt that, there you are. There's a buy for you, $100 a micro. Leave that on there, see what you guys think. Nasdaq still falling. Who wants to be highly aggressive and do this one? Warren, you're right about the US dollar ZAR, but I wouldn't be buying it, so I'm doing it. Touch it, by the way. Before we come to that, anyone do this, or shall I move along? Some guys are still in, yeah. Oh, yes, so he's talking Ashley, beg your pardon. Okay, Adele, probably wise. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's wise, but anybody want to say, I'm going to take a punt on this and risk getting a couple of micros or something? Ash will do it. Or you kept the trading marine of note here. Anyone want to join Ashley? Okay, Yapi, that's good enough. See how that goes. Ooh, I should ask for that. I'll go fourth. Who asked for this one? Gerard, okay. If it comes right, there you are, Gerard, you've got it right. Write down that one, 42, 42.1. Okay, got a few there going for it. That's correct, yeah. I know what Zef's going to say now. He thinks it's going to short it. Fair enough. You mean trend line from here? There you are. Bounce off the trend line as well. Well spotted there, Ash. Yeah. Actually, Zef, can you put in I want to buy gold here? Really stuff John Williams' day up. See, Nasdaq's taking out 118 for the moment, 11,800, I mean. Okay, so we'll see how those go. Yeah, I hear you. I just think it's overbought. Anyway, we'll see. Any response to this damn thing here? Weird. Weird. Any fib on a shorter term fib? For a bit of a bounce. Proving that's on the 50. Let's take a longer term fib. Ooh, could get more downside, not looking pretty. Okay. And the AUD really, because it's a lot of stocks at 50. This is really a stinker. But I don't know, some support here. Might get a bounce. Might get a bounce. Not convincing bounce, anyway, we'll see. Okay. CAD CHF. Let's have a look. Seems to become the party on the downside. Okay. Don't chase it now, guys. Move your stop loss if you're in it. No, get a bounce, who knows? Oh, I see you meant on the other one. Beg your pardon. GBP CAD sell. I think we had one on that, did quite well on it, if I remember rightly. Do you want to chase it here? I'm a bit reluctant. Do anyone want to chase it here? Yeah, anyway, whatever. Still pretty good trades we've had out. We've had a couple of stinkers, CAD JPY. Some guys are still in it. It might come right, but that was audible. Okay, the rest should be okay. Okay, right. Is Brent coming off anymore? Okay. That's about me, guys. Can't think of anything more brilliant unless you guys can come up with something. I must admit, I wish that bloody thing came at 10:30. I like to see the reaction. Not at 11 o'clock when the bloody closing time, eh? A little bit, yeah, Ash, because Canada is a producer of oil. So it is a bit of, the lower Brent normally has a bit of a weakness on the Canadian and vice versa. Simple as that. Yeah, we can't pick bottoms or tops. I just think it's coming to the sort of the end of the strength and we're preempting a bit. But yeah. So I'm really much more to add on it. To say, since the funders came out, up was 2 yesterday, I've seen a lot of indecision running around. The dollar is still very strong, so just bear that in mind. Okay. Yeah, run out actually of anything I can add, or I go back to my normal. If anybody out there newish, not quite want some posting of the like DXY like I normally do, request it. I'll post on the chat line so you can save in your browser. Anything on the screen you're not sure of, you want explanation, no problem there. Any questions on that side, I'll try and sort of clarify if I know it. You want to look at what do you want to do with the US dollar rand? Apart from leave it alone, which I strongly suggest. Remember, there's quite a few costs on this as well. It's about used to be 12, it's about 18 pips now as the cost, don't forget. You want to buy at these levels, all right? Can we find maybe on the monthly? Yeah, we can find something. That was all Nini, I think, when Zuma tried to sack Nini. Didn't do the brand much favors. We want to take it there. So we can take it. I'll put a line in there just to remind me. 42, where I can put a stop. Maybe down there. That's up to you, Warren. I'm definitely not for this. I'll make it a little bit lower. And there's the other one. 1842. So you get a bit of noise at 18. Do a lot of profit taking, maybe a few sellers coming at 18, by the way. I don't know, I'll knock it off, see what happens now. I don't know, give me a chip this one. Put yours up there, and if you like it, use those figures there, and if you want to do it, okay? 1842, and you can do for the TP, and you can do, what should we do here? 17.52 for your stop loss. There you are, if you want to do that. Okay. Yeah, not half, all of us. I'm still in the belly. I've got 16, 80 DJ Brighter. We made my 50th, got the figures here. Yeah, mine's 95.50. So I'm going to get stopped out. Yeah, that's a seriously bloody nose, that one. We might pay back. If 95.50 can hold, then get stopped out. Might get a bounce, who knows? But I've sort of lost a bit of faith in it when it took out 96, to be honest. The CAD JPY lost a bit of faith and it took out 108. Could even come back here. Yeah, okay. How are the other ones doing? GBP JPY. Let's see if that's happening. Instinct to strengthen. Still holding 163. Keep fingers crossed. Euro JPY. That's 142.82. That's holding. It's about break evenish on both. See how they go. Okay, guys. Anything you'd like to discuss? I have your AUD. No, I haven't. Yeah, that's exactly what I feel as that. But again, I don't know that, so you've got to be aware of it. But I think it's going to be a higher. To be completely wrong, that's why we've got to be careful of it. But if it is a higher, I think we'll get a bit of a jump in the euro. $152,882. Are you talking up here, somewhere up there? Okay. Do you want me to put a risk reward on for you? That's where you can do it yourself. For sure can get there. Why shouldn't it get there? For the record, I'm not keen, but if you're keen, I'll put it up there. Yeah. Okay. You like it as well. Okay. I know you know that, Seth, but I mean, some others might need it up. Okay. If you like it, I'll put it up. Say for the record, I'm not keen on to do it. Stop down here. Where do you want to put the stop? Further down? Put a TP to start with up there if you like. You do your own thing. If you want to do that, I'll put a stop there. A TP there, 50, 90. If you want a wider stop, just tell me. No, 1 month, stops for 1 month, not a problem. I mentioned NGAS earlier on, people have been about a month. I don't have a problem. I just don't have a share for you to advise on that, but there's no problem holding a share for a month, as long as you've got decent capital so you can let it run and with a wide stop, and you've got enough capital left over in your account to buy and sell other stuff. You don't want to be having all your money to a 1 month trade, and you know what I mean, and you can't trade other stuff. That's up to you. 40, 14804. Okay, put that in. Anyone wants to do that one? There you are. Right, if you're going to buy stocks, fair enough. I'm just put up for the other guys that want to do it. The trouble with that is then you're going to have a higher TP. That's the only problem. So I'll put it back to the original. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, but that's for the guys who are higher. I'm not keen, but if you guys want to do it, Osborne, you want to do it, I'll put up the figures you require. If you're going to go along with Zeph with a higher TP, with a wider stop, absolutely, or whatever. Yeah, it's very much at resistance. What they're doing is they're just not looking at the charts. They're saying, I'm expecting euro to go stronger on a fundamental base, expecting inflation CPI coming out at 11 o'clock, which means expectation of interest rates will be high, which will strengthen the euro. That's what they're going on. Quite a few cups of tea this morning. I've got to see the boys' room. I'll just think of any ideas there. Excuse me a moment. Okay. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's not the first to say that. Yeah, the squeaking chair. Yeah. Sorry, guys, but I've sort of got used to it now. Didn't even notice it. Okay, well, we'll move on. Has it stopped down AUD/JPY yet? Maybe. Flirting with, that's for sure. Okay. Anything else? Battling a bit here. Sorry, guys. I've had to come up with some bright ideas. Anything else you want to discuss? I'll just post these again for those guys who don't have it. Just give me a second. I'm on that. This is the dollar index. If you don't have it, if you have, obviously ignore it. But if you don't have it, just remember to have it saved. You need this. You need this one as well. Talked about it long enough, so now you've got it to make use of. And the economic calendar. You can indeed, if you like. Yeah. But I've just run out of stuff. Nothing new I can add. It's just sort of waiting at the moment. I'm just hoping the other trades come right, and we get some recovery before we get stopped in AUD/JPY and turn sort of winter into sunshine. And yeah, but we're all out the CAD/JPY, unfortunately. I still think we possibly will get an entry on that one. If we knocked out, it's come back like the US dollar yen. Is that coming back? Yeah, it's come back a bit surprisingly. Even the dollar's quite strong. We might get some pullback on this one. What's this thing doing here? Apart from getting in the way. Want to get that one? I still think we can get a possibility of getting back in again, this time with a winner. Might come back a bit further. Might come back 678 here. If it comes back that far, I think, and it bounces, I think there's a very high probability buy on that one. We shall see anyway. Actually, just change the subject. I believe playing the Springboks tomorrow. Unfortunately, at 9 o'clock at night. A bit inconvenient. And don't forget Argentina at the top of the table. No? God, it's come to a standstill, this one, hasn't it? Sure. Anything else? Any new guys? Any clarity you want? Anything you're not sure of? Anything you want to ask? In the meantime, as I say, from a trade perspective, I haven't seen anything I'm going to jump into right now, which is the number one priority, of course. But we do some clarification, ask some questions. Anything you're not sure of, you say, well, hang on, what's that, or whatever. And I'm not going to give you a 2-hour class. Clearly, that's for the Zoom classes, but I can clarify or go over some practical stuff if you want it. Yeah, but you mentioned a couple of times, the stocks thing is, you know, stocks are 6 months, a year, 10 years, the rest of your life if you want. I just don't have anything that I want to buy or sell right at the moment. And as mentioned, if you want to do a longer term on stocks, nothing wrong with that. but make sure you've got an account big enough that you've got free margin to play with on other areas. Carry that one, yeah. Well, normally I'd say that they'd be heavy favourites, but I don't know, I'd do quite well on them anyway. I like it actually. It was too dominant by the All Blacks at one stage. It's nice to see these guys coming. Gives them hope, if you like. You know, if you continue to lose, you want to give up. You know what I mean? And trouble is, you continue when you get a bit cocky. So yeah, it's evened up the whole system. Anyway, that the stocks answered. Anything else on stocks? Yeah, well, the consumer price index is a CPI, and you get the PPI as a producer price index. If the consumer price index is higher, it means it's inflationary. Okay, you're spending more. I mean, you're paying 10 Rand for bread January, and you're paying 15 Rand for bread in December. Clearly, that's highly inflationary. If it's very inflation, most countries don't want to get it out of hand, so they have certain goals to keep them a certain parameter or area. The states are quite open on that. They want to keep it at 2%, and the Euros are following that. Eurozone following that. They want to get it to it's above that. So if they see more inflation, the instrument they use to control that inflation is the interest rate, and that means they would increase it. Clearly, if you increase interest rates, more costly to borrow money, so it'll cut back the people borrowing money to buy goods. One of the reasons why we've got, because of COVID, so much unemployment, to create stimuli to get the unemployment down, in other words, more employment, was to get people to buy stuff. How do you get them to buy stuff? You lower interest rates, means it's cheaper to borrow money so they can buy stuff. Simple as that. The problem with that means it's encouraging debt. And that's one of the major problems in America and, of course, over here, is the savings are not attractive when you've got 0% interest, but borrowing is extremely attractive. Why use your own money? You're not paying for the cost of the borrowing. So you borrow more money and you save less. And that's you creating that inflation. Any question on that? Everyone clear on that? It's just basic, very, very basic economics, but it's important stuff. As I say, you've got to have strong foundations in the house. You can put all the expensive luxuries in, that's up to you, but it's no good if you don't have a strong foundation. It's just these basics are important. Okay. The euro, I think, is going to come to a standstill. So wait for another 50 minutes like we are. Okay, Philip. Thanks for your assistance and everything. Yeah, I think it's going to be very quiet during the next 15 minutes. You won't see many buyers or sellers going into the euro right now. The ones who were going to sell will be out. The buyers will be waiting. Well, it's 3 times a day now, load shedding. Hey, must be hectic on the, if you don't have well, I've got mine fed to my fridge fed to the, what you call it, inverter. For those going off and on, frozen stuff must be taking strain, eh? Okay, Osborne, yeah, bit quieter. If you're in anything on the euro, watch it at the clock. Guy, it's still coming off, eh? Thought it might get a bounce here. Ew, what a disaster. Like the GBP one, eh? That was still, the yen still short. Brent. Had a bit of a jump. Once I see upside, I just wonder if she wait for 88 or get cute and try and be aggressive. I want me to stop out the way. I think I'll have to stop at 85. So about $5 risk on 0.01 then. Remember, it's a 100 contract. You'll know what that means now. Specifications. That means $100 per dollar movement, $10 on a mini, and $1 per dollar movement on a micro. So if you're going one micro and you put your stop at 85, that's about $5 away. Your risk is 5 US. Or about what's that? About 80 bucks, isn't it? It's about 80 grand now. Anyone want to be super aggressive and look at this one? Pretty things actually wants to stay out at the moment. So the pound's still going down. That's to say, don't forget, you can always move your TP and as well as modify your stop and even cut your position. That's a good point. Does everybody know that how to cut the position, not close it entirely, partly close it? Now, obviously, if you've got a micro, you can't, because that's the smallest position size. If you've got more than one micro, you don't have to close a whole lot, so you can close part of it. I'm assuming everyone, okay, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. You can make it tighter if you want. Etienne. Yeah, you can even, does everybody know that? How to, if you know, you don't have to say so, but if anybody not know how to close part position. So let's say you got 10 micros or 1 mini, same thing. You want to bank 5 micros, you can do it. You don't have to close on top position. I think that the way the pound's going, the momentum slip into weak zone. That pound JPY is still coming off. Okay, so you'll know that's good. I mean, you've done thoroughly your homework on operating the platform. Good stuff. For a share, it's one I want to short. This one, if you get a decent price, not this level, no. Hi, Charmaine. Yeah, it's a bit quiet at the moment. We're waiting for 11 o'clock for the CPI figures to come out in the Eurozone. And otherwise, it's very quiet. So you haven't missed much, even though you're joining a little bit late, just so you know. Welcome. Okay. Yeah, so you're doing okay then. I presume you bought the dollar yen and you sold the GBP, JPY, so you should be doing fine. I want to get into this JPY actually. Can I get in? I really want to get in on this thing. That's purely a bit of overbought yen thing creeping in on this, because the dollar is very strong. It's way above it's above 110. Just wanted to get a better price. Oh, I'm missing out on this one. Maybe I'm tempted and weaken and join it, yeah. But yeah, upside is the name of the game on this one. And the 10 days holding. I quite like the 10-day one. See, it's holding. Yeah, well, I don't disagree with that, Zeph. Just thought it might be ready for a bounce. Didn't seem to be happening. GBP, what do we have? GBP is a line with it. It's not really working out as we spoke, eh? Give a bit of support there, maybe. This is only today. It's only 11 hours old today. It's already come off. It's 170 pips. Excuse me. The figures weren't that good in the pound, was it? I think it's a retail spot now. Just give me a moment. Yeah, retail sales worse than expected, didn't help matters, but I don't expect a bounce anyway. Yeah, no, that does surprise me. A little bit of weakness of the oil price coming off, I get that, but still. Yeah, the momentum is definitely down, but I won't be selling it here. I'm wait for the bloody buy signal to come through. Okay. No, I'm just going to WhatsApp why I'm looking to buy a GBP JPY where it came from. But simply because I said it was aggressive at the time. Didn't came a name on it, just a number came up. So I said that on the WhatsApp. Simply because I think the JPY is basically overbought. So I thought maybe after coming off so far, maybe some buyers have come in. Nothing more of that. I did mention the time, highly living on the edge. Aggressive. Highly aggressive, but yeah, that was the reason. Remember the 200 is clearly up. Remember that? Fairly sideways on the 50. So I thought, yeah, come off so much. Maybe look at the buy on it. But I mentioned be wary of it. Those who want it on those bases to take it. I'm not putting out a signal, suggesting putting out a signal. It's just a trading on guys who want to be aggressive and know they're driving over 120 and they realize it and willing to take that risk if you like. Any recovery on this might be starting to recover. Might be starting to get somebody out there. I think some guys are still in, including myself. So I got 95.50s in the stop. So fingers crossed on this one. Toes crossed as well on that. Look at the Nasdaq still coming off. Okay, sorry guys, dragging on a bit, another 5 minutes and we'll see what's happening on the euro. To be honest, traders worldwide are going to be looking at that. It's such a big economic zone. There'll be a lot of guys waiting on that, the countdown. There's got Bloomberg and put it on, hey. Yeah, well, have to see, but yeah, I'll be honest, I'd be surprised, but we'll see. In order to chase this jet, yeah, I don't know. What's chasing? Decisions coming in here. Yeah, I think I'll stick to my gun, wait to get a better price. Yep, people patiently hanging on. Lucky's coming in. It's a good name, Lucky, so maybe we get lucky. Virtual romance coming in here, guys. No, Roger. So you're not dumping me quite yet then, okay. That's good news, actually. That's good news. I'm like an ostrich, one mate person. Do you know that? Ostriches, just waffling a little bit here, coming up to 11. Ostriches, if they lose their spouse, the male that is, yeah, that's it. They never mate again. Apparently, so I was told when I was in Oatsall. Let's go on the euro dollar. It's coming up to time. Let's go on the euro dollar. See what's happening here. Put 15 minutes. We'll wait for this with bated breath. Doesn't stop you dumping me though, Ashley, just because I'm a one-woman man, you know. Don't put that on you. You can dump me if you like. I'm used to it. Just a second. 11 o'clock comes up. That horrible rumor from you. We're reading the gossip magazines. 11 o'clock. Anything happening here? CPI should have come out now. Just check on the calendar. Yeah, 9.1 and 9.1 was expected. What a damn sodding script that was, eh? There's absolutely no change whatsoever. Exactly as expected. And not very often, but exactly as expected. Expected 9.1, previous 9.1, and the actuals 9.1. So the CPI is exactly as expected. So I'm sorry about all that waiting, but yeah, nothing new on that. Okay, so yeah, there we are. So I think we'll go back to a little bit more on the slightly weaker euro. So now you don't have to worry if you're short the euro dollar, you can see that it carries on down. Okay. Okay, guys. Well, just hope those trades come right in the end. And yeah, have a great weekend. And there's not much more I can add on that. I'll catch you guys on Monday and hope we get some exciting stuff happening there that we can go forward a great week. Okay, brilliant, guys, and catch you then. Cheers, mate. Don't forget, no 11 o'clock session today. Keep fingers crossed, guys.